Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Got a fun video for you guys today. I have picked up a couple of new things from Juvia's Place. You guys know how much I love the brand Juvia's Place. I have a couple of eyeshadow palettes here. They were on sale. I couldn't resist. But what I actually went to the Juvia's Place website to try out is their new bronzers. They have some bronzer duos that I was very excited to try. So we're going to be testing that out today as well. It's always fun to try out new makeup from Juvia's Place. So I am very excited about it. We're going to be doing something kind of creative and colorful today. I can't make any promises on how it's going to turn out, but I think it's going to be fun to play. Hopefully you guys are excited as well. I want to welcome any new visitors to my channel. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy it here. Feel free to stick around for a while, check out some of my older videos, and make sure that you are subscribed before you leave. And with that out of the way, let's get to it. Alright, let's get to it. I do already have a little bit of makeup on. I have my foundation, my concealer, and my brows done. For my foundation, I used the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue Foundation. Also used my CoverGirl True Blend Concealer. This one is in the shade M100, which happens to match me very well right now. I'm actually finding that most of my foundations and concealers are a little bit too light for me. I got a tan when I wasn't looking. In my brows, I have my Holika Skinny Eyebrow Pencil, along with the ColourPop Styling Wax to hold them in place. But that is as far as I got. I do want to start off with the face first. I think we'll do the eyes last because they're going to be colorful. I want to make sure I don't go over the top with the eyes balanced with the face. I don't know. Mostly I'm trying to put it off. I'm kind of afraid to jump into some of these colorful shades I'm going to be challenging myself to use today. So let's do the bronzer first. I am really excited about this bronzer. This is pretty new from Juvia's Place. This is their bronzer palette. I have it in the light version. Here's what it looks like. Right here. I will insert for you guys a close-up of the palette packaging, of the swatches on my arm. I know they're a little hard to see. I cannot wait to try these out. I have swatched them, but I haven't actually used them on my face yet. So I think we'll probably use both of these shades today. So let's go ahead and get started. I do want to use actually two brushes. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off with, let's see. So this lighter shade looks to be a little bit more cool tone. I'm wondering if I want to start with that one as kind of a contour and then add a little bit of the bronzer on top. Let's just try it and see how it goes. So I have my Refer number 24 brush right here. This is just a dense, kind of slightly tapered, small brush that works really well for those rare times that I am doing a bit of contouring. I'm just going to kind of dab this into this outer part of my cheekbone right there. Just really subtle. I don't want to do too much. Take just a tiny bit more on that brush. I want to run that along my hairline. As much as I generally don't like using cooler toned bronzers on my cheeks, I do like a cooler toned bronzer to bronze up my hairline. I find they look a little bit more natural. If my bronzer's too warm, you can kind of see it on this very edge of my hair right there. But if it's a little bit cooler, it kind of matches the natural ashiness in my hair color there. So I think it blends in a little bit better. Okay, that looks really good. Nice and subtle. Let's add a little bit of the warmer, kind of deeper bronzer right here. I do love the packaging on these. I'm going to take that on my Refer number 22 brush. Really want to tap that off because I don't want to get too much. Not quite sure how pigmented this one's going to be. Run a little bit down on my neck. Alright, that is looking good for now. I do want to take a little bit of this lighter, cooler shade right here. We're going to do a little bit of a contour just under my lip and on the sides of my nose. I have been doing this a little bit more lately. Like every time I do it, I say this is something I don't do very often. But I think this is like the third or fourth video in a row that I've done it. So, a little mark right here on the tip of my nose that when I touch it, it feels like a bruise. I'm not sure how I got a bruise, like a tiny, tiny little bruise on the tip of my nose. Yes, I do. Oh my gosh, I just realized something. I fell asleep in my glasses last night, and I think this is the result of falling asleep in my glasses. By the way, this is the Royal & Lang Omnia brush, which I am going to try and use these brushes again today. I have to quickly sort of apologize. I use these brushes kind of flippantly the other day in a video. I hadn't looked anything up on them. They're actually quite expensive. I think I assumed in that video that these would probably be more affordable than they are, but I will say this, they are really nice. The brush itself, the ferrule, I mean, they feel very luxury. So I don't know why I just assumed because they're from Royal & Lang that they would be cheap. So after I had edited the video and went to link them, I kind of thought, oh boy, I better warn people that these are not super affordable. They're nice, but I'm not sure they're necessarily an affordable set, and I haven't fully reviewed all of them yet. I'm going to keep using them so that I can come back and share with you guys whether or not I think the whole brush set is worth it and which brushes are kind of highlights from the set. So keep an eye out for that. We will keep using them for this video today. All right, so now that looks good for bronzer. I really like this bronzer. Very silky. It's a matte bronzer. It doesn't have any sort of sheen in it at all, but great colors. I like both of these shades. I love that you have the option of something a little bit more cool and a little bit more warm toned. They went on well, they blended nicely, and the packaging. Juvia's Place always knocks it out of the park with their packaging. Let's add a little bit of blush. So for blush today, I want to keep things pretty neutral, so I'm going to go with a very neutral blush. This is from Nars. This is the blush Madly. This is a very, very barely there kind of colored blush that works really well if you're going for more of a bronzed look than a blushed look, because it's just a hair more peach than a bronzer would be. So let's use this one today. I'm going to take it on the powder brush from the Royal & Lang set. This is definitely a color that you can kind of go pretty heavy-handed, at least on my skin tone. It's pretty light. I imagine if you have more medium to deep skin, I probably wouldn't even bother, because this is a pretty light shade that may not show up on you. And as I say that, I realize I put way too much blush on. Where's my sponge? Alright, so I have this sponge right here that I used for my concealer this morning. I'm just going to use the edge of that to tap around the edges to make sure I don't have too much on. Whoever said if you put too much on you can't take some off? Sure you can. Okay, that looks much better. So I do have a highlighter from Juvia's Place. This actually came as a free gift in the order that I placed. This is their Heroin Glow #1 highlighter. It is a little bit deep for me. It's a beautiful kind of golden peach shade. I can get it to work for me right now as I'm a little bit more tan, but as you can see, hopefully you can see, do you see how much gold is in that? If you have medium to deep skin, this would be glorious on your skin tone. If you have any lighter skin than me, I would imagine this will be too dark for you. I can use it, but I have to keep it more kind of like in between where my highlight would be and where more of a blush topper would be. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to take the Omnia highlighter brush. This is probably one of my favorite brushes so far from the set. I do really like this one. And I'm going to just place that kind of in circular motions right here, almost over where I put that blush. You guys see that golden sheen right there? It's very, very gold. This would be a really pretty shoulder highlight if you're like going to the pool or the beach and you're very glamorous like that and you actually put highlighter on your body when you go to the beach or the pool, which I don't, but I like the idea of that. If I had a pool party at a very fancy hotel, I would wear this on my shoulders. And with what's left on the brush, I'm just going to add a little bit to the top of my nose. There's not a whole lot left, but good heavens, that still put down quite a bit. Just going to take that same sponge, I'm just going to dab that inner edge right there where I think I got it a little bit too far in. Hopefully you can see that glow. I still think it's maybe a little bit too deep for me. Maybe if I get a little bit more of a tan throughout the summer, this might work a little bit better on me in a month or so. But very pretty formula, very, very intense. If you like an intense highlighter, which I do. So let's jump into the eyes. I picked up one that is an OG Juvia's Place palette that I cannot believe I didn't own until this point. It is the original Masquerade palette. I remember Andrea raving about this palette like 3 or 4 years ago. But this palette's been around for a very long time. I'm sure you guys have seen this one before. We're going to be very brave. We're going to use some of these bold colors here. I'm kind of thinking this teal blue to kind of match my really pretty fingernails. Thank you, Olive and June. I'm kind of leaning towards doing something like this. It's just like a pop of color either on the inner corner or kind of this inner tear duct right there, and then going in with maybe these pinks like as a sheer wash of color on the lid. I think we're just gonna start and see what we end up with. I did take a look at Katie Jane Hughes' Instagram feed this morning to try and get some inspiration or some ideas. I was very inspired but also very intimidated looking at some of her makeup looks. I didn't find anything necessarily I wanted to completely duplicate, but I'm hoping some of that inspiration kind of like infiltrated into my creative jeans and we're gonna work some magic here. I don't know. Let's just get into it. So I want to start off by very lightly going into this brightest pink right here. I'm going to take that on the blending brush or the crease brush from the Omnia set. I'm trying to be pretty sheer with this color. I'm quite certain this is going to be pretty bold, so I'm actually going to kind of tap some of that color off on the back of my hand, and I want to just start. By the way, I did put some eyeshadow primer on. I used my Alter Ego eyeshadow primer earlier when I was doing my concealer. So I'm just gonna start kind of doing that as like a wash of pink all over. Dipping back onto the back of my hand where I put some of that pink so I don't get too much more on my brush. Just kind of building that up above my crease right there. Hoping this is one of those looks that kind of comes together in the end. Same thing on this side. And worst case, we call this one a fail, and I wash my face when this video is all over. Not the end of the world. Okay, so now I'm going to take that sponge that I used for my concealer. I'm kind of pinching it. There is a little bit of concealer left on here. I'm just giving it a little pinch and running it along this outer corner. I actually want this line, because it's such a subtle shade and it's not too dark, I want it to be nice and sharp and clean. Alright, so now I think I want to go in with this shade right here, which is the shade Zobo. It's kind of a purpley pink matte. I'm going to take that on this brush right here, which is the detail brush, kind of a very small, rounded and pinched smudger brush. I'm just going to take a little bit of that on the tip. I'm going to do kind of a smudgy liner with this. I am going to put some black liner on top of this and a little bit more of a detail, like a thin detailed liner on top. So this one I want to be a little bit wider, a little bit more smudgy, but I still don't want it to go below that line that I kind of cleaned up right there. I'm still trying to channel those Katie Jane Hughes vibes. She loves her wing liner. Now what I think I want to do, I want to do like a bright inner corner with this shimmery kind of shell pink right here. I'm going to place that all over this inner kind of corner, inner part of the lid. I want it nice and bright and sparkly, and then I'll probably take a little bit, I'm leaning towards this kind of teal color right here, and just pop a tiny bit of that just on this kind of bottom inner tear duct right there, just to give it a little touch of blue down there. We'll see. Might end up being a total fail, but that's okay. We're going to give it a try. So I'm going to take this brush right here. This is their concealer brush. It's a very large, kind of flat synthetic brush. I'm going to get that shell pink all over the brush and just start tapping this all over this inner, putting it not just on the inner part of the lid. I actually want this like all over this whole kind of pocket right there, all the way up to my eyebrow right there on the front. There we go. Now for the tricky part. I'm worried that this is going to ruin the whole eye look, because I actually like this quite a bit. I think with some liner and some lashes, or not lashes, mascara on, this would come together really nicely. I hope that this pop of blue doesn't ruin everything, but I really do want to try it. So we're going to take the shade Zola right here, and I'm going to take this brush, which is the lip brush. This is similar to that concealer brush that I just used, only significantly smaller, but it's similar bristles and shape, nice and flat. I'm just going to take a little bit of this color. We're just going to place this right on this. Actually, let's just do like the tear duct. That's pretty subtle. Okay, still not sure what I think about this one. We're going to add some liner and some mascara. I'm hoping it will kind of all come together once we do that. Even if it doesn't, honestly. It's kind of a fun look. Not one I would wear to the grocery store, but fun just the same. Let's add some black gel liner. I'm going to take my Tony Moly liner. And for this, why don't we use the Royal & Lang liner brush? I actually haven't used this brush yet, but it does look really nice and thin. Actually, the angled brush, this is their brow brush. This looks like a pretty nice one as well. I haven't used that one yet, but I'll have to try that for liner, because I do like using angled brushes for my winged liner. Okay, actually, let me zoom you guys in just a tad. All right, I will try to stay in focus for this. It's a little bit tricky to do on camera for me. So I'm just going to do a really subtle kind of baby wing underneath this bold pink. And I'm basically only taking this on the outer 2/3 of my lash line, trying to like taper that in. And then I'm going to take a clean finger, just run that right there to get that line nice and sharp. Alright, so there's the first wing. Hopefully you guys can see it. Let's move on to the other side. So I'm going to take just a tiny bit more of that. I'm going to run this on my Just kind of on my waterline, I'm just dabbing that almost in between the individual lashes on my upper waterline. Alright, that is it for liner. I have already curled my lashes. I'm now going to take a couple coats of my Smashbox Superfan mascara. I'll give it a good coating and I will be right back and we'll finish off with the lips. Alright guys, so here are the finished eyes. I actually think this one is really pretty. I'm not completely uncomfortable in this makeup look. I think it's a really fun summery makeup look, especially if you're into some color, which I'm not normally, but maybe I should branch out more often. Let me know what you guys think. So let's move on to the rest of the face. Actually, I think I have everything done except for my lips. So let's move on to my lips. I'm torn. I kind of like that the cheeks aren't pink because I feel like that might be a little too much to have a pink cheek and a pink eye and a pink lip. I don't know. You guys know my tendency to want to match everything, but I kind of feel like maybe the bronzier, more peach toned cheek is good for the pink eye. Obviously, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Let's just move on, Mandy. Oh man. All right. So for the lips, oh, there's a part of me that wants to do like a bold pink lip, but I think that might be a mistake. Oh, a little too matchy. This is from Milani. This is their Fancy liquid lipstick. One of my favorite things for summer. You guys will see it in my Shop My Stash coming up very soon. But I think a bold eye and a bold lip is just can't do that. I think that's a stretch too much for me. So let's keep the lip very neutral. I'm leaning towards going in with this lipstick right here. This is from Flower Beauty. This is their Naked Blush lip color. Let's give this a little swatch. Okay, yeah, I feel like that's gonna be perfect. Yes, let's do that. So I'm going to add a little bit of liner first. Let's take my LA Girl Nonstop Nude Liner. I'm just putting a little bit of this just on the under side of my lip. Kind of overlining it just down below the center, and then I take my finger and kind of smudge it in and kind of smudge it up onto my lips so it doesn't look like I actually overlined my lips. And I sort of do the same thing but a little bit lighter on my Cupid's bow or upper lip. Now let's add some of the lipstick. Again, this is from Flower Beauty. One of my favorite nudes. I love the Flower Beauty lipsticks. They're so high-end feeling. The formula is so nice. Okay, and I want my lips to be pretty sheer, so I'm going to take a clean finger and really kind of just press that into my lips and wipe it off just so it's a little bit lighter, almost like more of a balm than a thick lipstick. And I do want to put just a little bit of gloss on that. So let's take my, should we take my Lifter Gloss? Yeah, let's take the Lifter Gloss from Maybelline. Hopefully this isn't too pigmented. Actually, this is a really good shade match, so. Just adding that to the center. I love the smell of that. It smells like cupcakes. Summertime coconut cupcakes. Oh, it's so good. And to finish things off, let's add a little bit of setting spray. I'm going to take my ColourPop Pretty Fresh. I'm going to do a lot. See if I can get some of that Katie Jane Hughes glow. I need more than that. There we go. All right, you guys, that is the finished makeup look. I'm kind of loving this one. This was so much fun. I really need to force myself to play with color more often because it's never as intimidating in the end as I think it's going to be, especially working with very bold colors like this. There are definitely ways to kind of scale them down a little bit. I feel like this is pretty scaled back. I am sure there are some of you that would still be uncomfortable in this much color. I'm also sure there are some of you that are screaming at me, wishing that I would have gone a little more heavy-handed with some of those bold colors. But I really just wanted to mildly challenge myself while still keeping it me. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really think it turned out great. I would love to know what you guys think. Do you like this makeup look? Would you wear it, or would you never touch a pink and blue like this with a 10-foot pole? Let me know down in the comments below. Got some fun videos coming up this month for you guys. I will be doing my 7 looks video. That poll should go up very shortly on Instagram and here on the YouTube community tab. I'm gonna post it in both places because I have not been very active on Instagram, so I'm not sure how much response I'm gonna get over there, but I will be giving you guys some different options on which video you would like to see me do a 7 looks video on. I'm really excited about it. It has been a while since I have done one, and I have some fun, new and and old palettes that are contenders for that one, so be sure to vote on that. And if you are newer here and you don't know what my 7 looks videos are or were, I used to do them quite regularly and I haven't been doing them quite as much recently, but I will list that playlist for you guys down below if you want to go check those out. But that is it for today. Thank you guys again for stopping by. I hope you guys are doing well. Let me remind you one last time to please subscribe if you are not yet subscribed, and I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye.